The United States' decision to designate Hizbul Mujahideen chief Sayyid Salahuddin as global terrorist has nailed the Pakistan's nefarious designs on Kashmir. Salahuddin is the first Kashmiri terrorist declared as global terrorist.
The so-called freedom fighters, the separatists, or for that matter Pakistan has been always calling the local movement which is going on in Kashmir as a sort of indigenous movement or so-called freedom struggle. But now that Hizbul Mujahideen, which is primarily of locals and which Pakistan has been claiming to be a sort of local freedom movement by Hizbul Mujahideen, now that it has been declared as its chief has been declared as a global terrorist, so obviously it means now it is a terrorist movement as far as United States is concerned.
The United States with this action has sent a strong message that HM is not an indigenous terror group in Kashmir as it has been projected so, and also that it poses a greater threat to the world peace.
Now, Salahuddin has been primarily responsible for taking up the terrorist cause in Kashmir on behalf of Pakistan government as well as establishment, army and Pakistan ISI. And this has been exposed by this declaration by the US. And if you recall, in 1989, when terrorism started in Kashmir, it was started mainly by J.K. Cadre, who had got trained and armed in Pakistan. And after few months of its campaign, the J.K. movement started dying down, and it was taken over by Hizbul Mujahideen, which consolidated it, which carried out the activities beyond Srinagar city into villages. They were funded from across. They started recruiting local boys and started acting in collaboration with foreign terrorists. And right now also it is one of the main organizers who provide all sorts of infrastructure, logistic support to local as well as Pakistan based terrorists who come here, whether they are from Lashkar-e-Toiba or from Jaish-e-Mohammed. Their coordination is done by Hizbul Mujahideen.
The decision has also nailed the Pakistan's effort to internationalize the Kashmir issue, which it has been trying to do so after the killing of Burhan Wani, who was also from the HM terror group.
Burhan Wani also was from Hizbul Mujahideen. So obviously it means now very clearly for the global community that Burhan Wani and all the commanders, so-called commanders of Hizbul Mujahideen, including Salahuddin, they are terrorist leaders in no uncertain terms, and Hizbul Mujahideen is a terrorist organization, and Pakistan's claim that it is a freedom movement in Kashmir is no longer valid and no longer acceptable to the world community. India had been rejected it right from the beginning. Now India has been supported in its view on Kashmir by other global communities.
The decision has rattled the Pakistan, which has been sporting both terrorism and separatism in the valley for about 3 decades. And it is for this reason that Pakistan has termed this decision as unjustified.
Hizbul Mujahideen commander as a global terrorist. Prior to that, they had declared a bounty on Hafiz Saeed, who is head of Lashkar-e-Toiba, and Jaish-e-Mohammed chief is also a terrorist commander. Now, with all these people who are primarily responsible for terrorist activities in Kashmir and in other parts of our country, now they will be put under a lot of pressure from global community, and US, to maintain the sanctity of its declaration, will have to follow it up with other actions which will compel Pakistan to give up its support to terrorist activities and terrorism which is emanating from its soil.
Security experts believe this decision could start the process of shutting down funds and support for terrorists operating in Kashmir and strengthen the India's stand that terrorists are disrupting the peace in J&K, which is an integral part of the India.